All right, we're starting this again already. So yesterday we finished our daughter's bedroom. Today we're gonna work on our oldest son's bedroom. So the unfortunate part with this bedroom is there's this massive top to a bunk bed here. I built these years ago for both our boys. We have this one in this room, and you'll see in a later video the other half in our other son's room. Our son is wanting a lounge section underneath the bunk bed here. The only unfortunate part to this whole thing is this thing has to stay in the room while we work on this room.
It's so heavy.
It's too heavy, we don't want to deal with it. So here it is, we'll work around it. Some of the ideas for this bedroom is a cool accent wall chair rail thing on this wall here. We need to add a headboard / nightstand thing on the back of the bunk bed. And then we need to add a better stair system for the bunk bed here. Right now we're using a ladder out of our toy hauler trailer.
And it's been like that for years, so it's time for an upgrade.
Yeah. So with all that being said, let's get to it. So with our daughter's room, we were quite ambitious and we hoped we could do it in 2 days. We ended up at like 4.5, 5, depends on who's counting. This room, we're gonna try to do this in 3 days. This one really should go a lot faster because I already have the trim and the baseboards ready to go. Probably could do it in 2 days, but we're gonna try for 3. So let's do this. Can you all see this purple color? Maybe we should leave it this color for our son. I think he'd love it. I'm just kidding, he'd probably kill us if we left it. But man, that is quite the purple color. Oops. All right, my wife and I just spent the last 30-40 minutes prepping the room, getting all the trim and everything off, getting it ready for paint. When we pulled all the trim off, we were blessed with this beautiful purple color that used to be in this room. But check this out. This whole room, ceiling and walls, were that color purple. So we mentioned in the last video how we like to have the ceilings white, but in North Idaho, where we now live, it seems like everybody paints everything the same color. Well, this room originally was all this same light purple. Crazy. Could you imagine this whole room being that light purple? To each their own. All right, we're gonna start painting.
Oh, babe.
Why me?
You're the one that made the mess. Where's that cool doohickey thing? Something on. Nice and slow. Waiting on paint.
Well, I thought I had enough of these little trim pieces left over from our daughter's room. Turns out I don't. I need 2 more, unfortunately. While I'm at it, I'm gonna cut a couple pieces for the top of the accent wall. You'll see that later. And while I'm doing this, Katie's inside getting the room painted, which is great because I don't want to be in there painting. In the last video, I said how excited I was that we get to get rid of all the gold. We have gold throughout this whole house, the light fixtures, the doorknobs, everything in this house. This fan itself actually didn't have any gold on it, but it was way too big for this room. I'm excited to change out this fan because I have this nice cushy bed to sit on while working up here. Jesus.
Accent wall time.
Yesterday we got this room fully painted minus the accent wall. I'm gonna throw up the baseboards on this accent wall, then we'll start this Now we'll move on with the rest of the baseboards while Katie paints this wall. I have my first pieces already cut and ready to go, so let's get to it. For this accent wall, we're gonna do a little bit different and a little bit easier than our daughter's room, which was the last video. We're just gonna do a normal chair rail, but a little bit higher, a little more substantial than your typical chair rail. The hardest part about this is just figuring out the spacing in between. I have one set up in the corner over there. We'll put one more piece over here in the corner, pull a measurement, and then figure out our equal spacing from there. Should I make the seam here? Yep, agreed. We finished up all the painting last night in the bedroom, and now it's time to work on the bunk beds. The bunk beds need stairs, and they need a headboard shelf thing to go behind my son's head. That'll serve two purposes. One, it'll hold a clock, and two, it'll keep the pillows from falling off of the bunk bed. I'm gonna start with the stairs because I'm not totally sure I'm gonna have enough material for this project. I gotta mention real quick before I get going, my shop's an absolute mess for making all the baseboards and the trim. I don't really feel like cleaning it all up before starting this project, so don't mind the mess. This morning I spent a bunch of time on Fusion 360 designing these stairs. I have another video where I built some stairs going into an attic space in our garage. I did the same thing there and it worked perfectly. So I used Fusion to figure out my runs, my lengths, my angles, my stair count, everything. It works so good. So with that, I have everything ready to go. That poor saw just does not have the power to cut through this. I have to go so slow. I'd like to use this saw right here, but I don't have enough room behind me. I may be rearranging the shop eventually so that I can use this saw more. When the smaller cuts come up on the stairs and everything, I'll be able to use this saw, but until then, I have to just slowly fight with that one. All right, now that I got the stair stringers all done and ready and measured, that took a while. That was pretty tough to get all the angles and everything figured out on those. I am now going to move on to the stair treads. This should be a lot easier. They're just 8.5 deep by 13 wide. Easy peasy. So I'm throwing these pocket hole screws in temporarily just to make sure everything lines up, everything fits, everything works. Plus, I don't have the right bolts at the moment. I have to run to town and grab those. But for now, this is holding, looks good. There's a few things left to do outside of the stairs though. That is to create a cross support or a cross member or some kind of a support. I think that I'm gonna do out of metal just so that it kind of ties into the rest of the bed. Got some metal, got some wood, be a cool effect. So I'm gonna sand this up really quick. I'm not gonna get too crazy with it. The whole bed is pretty rustic. I'm just gonna make sure there's no crazy sharp edges, and then we'll get it stained and go install it. All right, we just got the headboard installed and it actually went really well. It fit perfectly. Now we're gonna move on to the stairs. Hopefully the stairs fit as good as the headboard did. I'm gonna get the stairs put in and semi locked in, and then I gotta go build the cross support out of metal. But we're gonna make sure everything fits first before I do that.
That's how the stairs are gonna go?
Well, not to toot my own horn, but toot toot, this thing fit absolutely perfectly. I'm so thankful for Fusion 360 because without it, there's no way I would have been able to do this. First run on the stairs.
That hurt.
The stairs was a success. He was a failure. All right, now it's time for the finishing touches. Maybe the coolest part of the whole room. So I built this thing about 8 or 9 years ago. It's out of old cow corral fencing. It's really cool. Well, that's a wrap on this room. This room turned out really good. I really love the accent wall. I'm a super big fan of having that hung up on the wall again. That sign looks so cool. These stairs turned out great. I'm very happy with those. Next video, we're gonna be working on our third and final kids room. That one's gonna be cool too. I'm looking forward to that. Stick around for that. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.